actually fake news. Alright, I'm not sure. We should be up on YouTube. Let's get ready. We're going to talk about magotry today. Magotry and parasites. We have yet to evolve. We have no magotry yet. So you can't be acting like a parasite. What the heck are we talking about? What is this? How many of me does it take to untangle a damn cord? Thank you for sharing. Friday, slaves, it's Friday. Hopefully everybody's doing good. Everybody get their peacock on yesterday. Stuck around. Finding mate. Put the feathers out. Hopefully y'all got around yesterday, got your cologne and your perfume, your flies and your chocolates. Find yourself a mate. Get it on. That's the caterpillar behind me is not trying to find a mate though. Like women, they put on their perfume and the dress all nice and tight and everything. Men, they just get the houses and the cars and try to shave and take some baths every now and then. Wear a little deodorant, throw a bunch of cologne on. God, get yourself a mate. I went home and I watched Stargate and I went to sleep, man. I went to sleep. What's up, George? Good morning, brother. Good brother went to college with me, man. We had a lot of fun down there. We used to hang out late night in the dorm talking, yay, yo. We was gonna save the world. But even back then, I was still indoctrinated. I was on a team back then. I joined a league. I was in a league of my birth. I don't do leagues no more. I'm an adult. I don't do leagues. You're a Democrat or Republican? I'm not. I'm an adult. What race are you? What ethnicity? I'm not in your leagues. I'm not a league. I don't care nothing about your leagues. I have no interest. What nation you're from? I'm not from a nation. I live in a land colonized, took it and killed it, and other people came over here and grabbed me, dragged me over here. Some of my ancestors from Ireland, other ancestors from Africa, the other ancestors Native American, the other ancestors, just a whole bunch of ancestors. Even I even got ancestors from Britain. Like my ancestors grabbed my ancestors, brought my ancestor over here, stole the land from my ancestors to keep me. That's why I don't do leagues. I don't do. It's just so confusing. Because then you can't figure out who to sell out. That's why I don't do leagues, man. I'm not a leaguer. There's something going on. I'm an adult, man. I don't have time for these silly leagues. All right, I don't see YouTube. I assume YouTube is in the house, so reset or something. There we go. Good morning, YouTube. Who we got? Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Today, I'd love to talk about maggots. I had no idea how these crazy thoughts come in my head, but I'm a gardener. I like to. I think we always used to observe nature and just watch and figure out the world's problems from nature. Because nature been here a billion years, didn't know what the hell it's doing. Your political party, they ain't been here a minute. They're dumb as a bag of bricks. Your government, they were just put in place by the colonizers. They were put in place by the kings and lords to control your dumb butt, to make sure your children are indoctrinated, and they join the slave plantation, and they continue to produce through forced labor for the king's coffers. Anyway, good morning, everybody. How's it doing? We're going to talk about capitalism, wasps, magotry. We have not evolved maggots yet. We shouldn't be acting like parasites on the planet, in the community, in the political party, in a race, in ethnicity, a group, a universe, a solar system. Don't act like a damn parasite, because we have parasitic tendencies. We like to stab things. All right, I'm getting ahead of myself. We like to kill things that we live in. That's stupid. We like to kill neighbors we got to live around. That's dumb. Neighbors we need to feed our children. All right, thanks for sharing, people. Good morning. Good morning. All right. I don't have my comments up. Something I'm going to talk about while I bring my commentary up. I have to greet y'all because I'm late with this. So, evolutionary wise, it was a thing called a plant one day. And I don't know if the plant came first or the bugs. I think the plants came first. Some bugs evolved to thrive and eat the plant. Others derived to work with the plant. That's something that lives on your plants. Bugs, the predators that eat them, and one that gets harvested and planted on them called aphids. And plants, because they've been here a lot longer than the bugs, which they all been here a lot longer than the humans. They evolved an ability to actually call the insects that eat the predator insects. One of them that they call is through gases, and one of them that they call is a parasitic wasp. It will come by and it takes it looks like a phallus, but anyway, it takes it and it injects parasites into the aphid or into the caterpillar. Those maggots, right? It's a parasitic wasp. They grow and they thrive and they eventually kill the caterpillar and emerge out of it. The great thing about that system, it's a functioning system and it works. Because the caterpillar has millions and billions and billions of other little webs, right? It has so many babies that it can actually thrive and it can make it, even though it's got all these predators coming at it. It's a sustainable system. We not so much. We don't have maggots. We have children. That's the problem. Our children haven't learned to thrive in environments that have no oxygen. Our children haven't evolved to live on a planet that's waters everywhere, and ice and melted, and fire and asteroids and killer robots running around shooting everybody. We don't have kids that evolved to thrive in 5G. So we have parasitic tendencies. We like to destroy and kill things. We don't have a next generation that can live after the destruction. Don't act like a parasite unless you got maggots. If you got maggots, okay, go for it. Be a parasite. Y'all be parasites. If you don't have the ability to create a parasitic egg, don't act like you're a parasite. We are parasites. We colonize like parasites. We kill like parasites. We're about to go kill Venezuela. Oh, you know where I'm going to start off today? I think I'm going to start on Yellow Vest. Yellow Vest, how's everybody doing this morning? Y'all doing good? Everybody's awake now. Looks like it's a little this morning. Y'all peacocking last night. Hang on, bring up the YouTube comments where I can see them. How's my audio? Am I good? I can actually see the comments. All right, good morning. Good morning, Lori and Daniel and Rebecca. I can't see everybody. Georgia and Pat, Brother George, Augustin, Ish, YouTube. I can't look at this screen. I say, y'all supposed to warn me. Don't do this. I see Brother Daniel. I can see Daniel from a distance. I'm like an old guy. I can see Daniel from a distance. I can go like this. I can see you like that. It hurt my eyes. All right. I want to look at the Yellow Vest because you know what? Yellow vest is important. Why are people acting up in France? Because France has been acting up in the world. It's supposed to act up. They've been going around robbing, stealing, killing resources. Like, you know, this is where I want to start. This is where I want to start. I want to start on boxing. What would you do? Because I think they put him in prison now. What would you do if you were in a protest and one of the police officers begun to abuse your wife? Begun to hit her in the face and spray. Did she get hit in the face? I forgot. Spray her. Let's go to the news before I make something up. Don't get me started. It's Friday, damn it. I make something up.
Right now,
start on the yellow vest, end on aliens. Let's just go look at the news report. This was the boxer that was in the yellow vest protest, and I believe he is in prison now. You have a government that's acting like a parasite, going around the world, destroying ecosystems and stealing resources. And of course, it brings the resources home and never share them with the soldiers. You know they used to do that, right? You go to a foreign land, you grab yourself a wife or some kids or something, grab yourself some land, this will be mine, whatever. They don't do that no more. I don't know. I don't get the soldiers no more. They go over there, get yourself a husband. They don't even share no more. Like the soldiers that go over there and they come back and they don't give them a damn thing. They don't even give them health care. They don't give them food. They don't give them water, houses. Soldiers all over America in prison now and homeless. But all right, let's look at this. None of that came home to France. And so I think what there have been 2,000 yellow vests that have been prosecuted, and for over 200 years, the French Foreign Legion has gone around the planet, murdering, killing, colonizing, and destroying, not bringing anything home to share. And so the people stand up. Let's look at this.
Capital has seen a large demonstration against police violence organized by various yellow vest groups. It comes as one of their own protesters, a former national boxing champion, is jailed for a year for beating an officer at a rally in January. A video of Christophe Dettinger throwing punches at a gendarme went viral and even led to a manhunt. One witness claims he was acting in response to a police assault. The former boxer has expressed regret over his aggressive reaction.
I saw the repression that was there. I saw the police tear-gassing us. I've seen the police hurt people with flashballs. I've seen people hurt. I've seen pensioners get tear-gassed. I've seen a lot of things. I was tear-gassed on the last day. Yes, I wanted to advance on the right, police. I was gassed with my friend and my wife. I was gassed, and for a moment the anger came up in me. Yes, well, I reacted badly. But I was defending myself, and that's it.
They used tear gas against us and then started beating us with batons. I found myself on the ground, lying curled up. I was then chased by the police, who tried to grab me. Another policeman from the Rapid Response Squad then turned up and tried to grab me. He punched me in the face, right in the teeth. And then he kicked me. I have severe lung disease. The slightest blow can cause them to tear. If that happens, I die. The boxer saved my life. If he hadn't done what he did, I would have died on the spot.
French authorities.
So if you know me, I've already made my mind up. My mind is already made up. You know the rest of the story because it was a manhunt. All we just saw a boxer swinging on police. And if you're stupid, I mean, if you're a part of the kingdom, part of the parasitic kingdom, you got behind the police, you were supporting the police. If you are a part of our species who realize we don't have math, we need to share and get along, otherwise we all die after we kill the host, then you realize that you don't want to wait. You don't want to take a position to get to the rest of the story. So finally he gave the rest of the story. He said this was in self-defense. He said the police came after him. He said the police hit his wife. He responded. And I'm going to tell you, exactly what he was supposed to do. In fact, if anything, I appreciate the brother showing restraint. He should have beat the hell out of the man that hit his wife. Why? Because he took the resources that he has and used them for defense. I know you'll say, oh, well, they were trying to burn the building down. Like I said, I'm damn to who you think the building belongs to. The building belongs to the French people. They want to burn that mother down. That's up to them. If they want to burn a Porsche, that's up to them. All those resources were stolen from other countries by the French Foreign Legion and colonization anyway. belongs to the people. And the people decide this is a government that shouldn't exist, and burn the mother down. But a good example of that would be America, right? I live in a slave plantation. I live in a prison here, and people want to build up a wall trying to keep me in. I'm going to go back to Sister Deb's point, right? Why the hell am I going to vote for a government or a political party that never respects my rights? Why? Why would I pay taxes to a government that never respects my rights? Why would I allow them to have buildings that they stole from poor people all around the planet, people I'm related to, my distant cousins? Why would I continue to support that? How does that make any damn sense? Oh, because of Trump! Because of Obama! If the people become so outraged and they realize the system that dominates them has to go, then it should go. I understand what he did, and it makes perfectly good sense. He took the skills that he had and he applied them to be safe. I'm gonna show y'all something later. Talk about police brutality. I don't know where this is gonna go. I gotta show you something else later. Because again, it's not police brutality. They're not police. You know what a police officer is? A police officer is a protector of the people. Right? They are an establishment put in place to protect people and get cats out of trees, save old ladies from robbers. That's what they're there for. They're there for the people. They're not there for the establishment. You don't have police anymore in my country. Very few. I mean, the problem is the police, they don't understand that. They're young guys, you know, they like control. They want to help, but they go in. That's not the job. The job now is protecting Wall Street. The job now is protecting the bourgeoisie. The job now is all about oligarchy, bourgeoisie. It's all about protecting the state, not the people. So I'm not a fight the police person. I'm not a hate the police person. That's not who I am. I'm gonna look at the system and solve the problem because we're all locked up in this crap. We're all locked up into support systems for a parasitic modeled government. That's our problem. Most of the big governments around the world, they're modeled for parasitic activity, destroying the host, but not having maggots that can live on beyond that. Well, not necessarily. I guess if you think about it, if you agree with the philosophy that we're cyborgs, then yeah, the robots, they'll live past us. The robots will live past us, but they're not really us. If you're okay with, you know, us doing the cyborg thing and becoming robots and them living in the ecosystems we destroy, the planet that we rape, pillage, and rip apart, then okay. So I was just looking at this. I'm gonna look at the rest of it. But so what I can see so far, that man stood up for his wife. They were in a public place, standing in the place where they have rights. Their government working for them. They sent out a dragoon squad, and this man responded appropriately.
Authorities say almost 2,000 people have been convicted for offences committed during the Yellow Vest protests. The country's Prime Minister says 1,400 more are awaiting sentencing. Well, we spoke with Fiorina Lanier, who was hit in the head with a stun grenade in December.
Oh, yeah.
We were on the Champs-Élysées. It was calm at first, and there were very calm yellow vests around us. Then some hooligans started vandalizing a shop on another side of the street, trying to set fire to it. Policemen started to shoot to help firefighters to get through, and it was the last thing I remember, because after that I fell and a grenade hit my head.
Grenade hit her head. This is a little girl. So I think they can save her eye. I think that's what they said. They can save her eye. And so we're going to try to pull her eye out and install it in a way where she might be able to. And this is what I'm saying. I'm just very simple. I don't like complex. If you have a government that actually is taking activity that ends in the death or the dismemberment or the removal of an eye of citizens, that's when you got to start to raise questions. That's when you got to start to, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Charlottesville, right? And I know Charlottesville, everybody got their own little ignorant position. You hadn't jumped on this side or that side because your indoctrination teaches you this. You're in a league, you're on a team. I get it. I'm just not there with you. I always go back to Charlottesville and I say, you know what? If the government lets something go down and somebody dies, that government ain't for you. Right? If your government that monitors everything, the NSA, Homeland Security, and everything, and they allow a riot to occur, and they see hundreds of people on this side coming, hundreds of people on that side coming, texting back and forth, girlfriends, boyfriends, angry people, white nationalists, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, KKK, whatever. They all get together. They all want to go fight. They're getting urine balloons, getting box and sticks, and they want to go start a fight. And you see the prayer groups on this side. They just want to pray for statue or something, and then on the other side, the churches will come and they're gonna sing songs. So you see peaceful people coming, you see angry people coming, you see people coming to have a peaceful protest on both sides, and you see people coming to have a protest where to start a problem, a riot, and your government does nothing. Your NSA, they don't say beep, beep. CIA, Homeland Security, whoever's monitoring all of these citizens going, and they know young people are going. They knew that little girl that was going, that got ran over by the Charger. They knew she was going, and they didn't do a damn thing. They didn't call the governor. They didn't call the police. They didn't say, and the police showed up with 14 people, and somebody ended up dying. That's how you know your state doesn't work for you. That's why I don't play your games. That's why I'm not in your 2020s. I don't give a damn who you're running. I don't want to have nothing to do with it. I don't have nothing to do with your psychopathic system, because I believe what alien Jesus taught. You murder people. If your system makes murder possible, your system has to go. Right? Because that system is not there for you. Charlottesville was a false flag. Ellen, I think Charlottesville was a false flag in the intent and how they used it. But did somebody die? Yes, she did die. Did people get hurt? Yes, they got hurt. But our government always uses these things that happen as false flags. Like, speaking of false flag, you can take me down another avenue. It's disaster capitalism. They take something, and it doesn't mean the whole thing is fake, and it doesn't mean the whole thing is true. But the point is, they always use it for disaster capitalism. They always use it as a means to get people to rally behind something stupid, which usually ends up in taking our rights or invading another nation. Speaking of that, I saw something other than tweet caught my attention. We're going to Venezuela and other parasitic news. This could be parasitic news around the planet. Parasitic news and other news of us destroying our ecosystems and willing to kill our children off because they haven't evolved to be maggots. Venezuela, I always gotta go to Venezuela. So much respect to the yellow vest. Always show it off. Got mine ready to go. We got mine. But I ain't getting in the streets because Americans still fighting about skin color. I ain't getting no. Americans grow the hell up. I got mine though. Another thing I wanted to show you. Oh, it was old. Well, yeah. All right, something else I wanted. There's so many things. There's never enough time to show you all the stuff I want to show you. Let me see. Which one was the best report? I think it's this one. And other.
The new U.S. Special Envoy for Venezuela has been accused of lying by the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Elliot Abrams was quizzed about Washington's efforts to install opposition leader Juan Guaido as Venezuela's president in his bid to oust the current president, Nicolas Maduro. The session was interrupted several times by anti-war activists.
Elliot Abrams is going to send weapons to Venezuelan right-wing factions to cause a genocide in Guatemala and El Salvador.
The activists were dragged out and arrested. They were trying to draw attention to Abrams' alleged human rights violations in Latin America. This track record also came up in some tough questions from members of Congress.
The chair will.
Would you support an armed faction within Venezuela that engages in war crimes, as you did in Guatemala, El Salvador, and Nicaragua?
I am not going to respond to that kind of personal attack, which is not a question.
All right, hold on. Yeah, it is a question. All right. The question, answer the question, damn it. The question is, are you the Grim Reaper? Do you murder people? Were you convicted of lying to Congress? Is it a real true character that you've actually started genocide and you started bloody revolts all over Latin America? The answer is yes. That's why you want to answer. That's why people plead the fifth. You don't get. You're not supposed to have a fifth when you're in government. How can they plead the fifth in government? You can't plead no fifth. When you're in government, you shouldn't have any rights. If you ask me, you shouldn't have any damn rights. But you also should have the same damn health care that the soldiers have. So, on this whole parasitic activity, why are people standing up? Why are they activists yelling and screaming at this young man, Elliot, the Grim Reaper Abrams? Well, because he wants to get a whole bunch of people murdered. And yes, he is a coward. He will not lift up a gun. He will not go to fight. I don't know who this congresswoman is. I like her. I do. I like her. I don't even know her name. What is her name? Somebody post her name. This woman, she seems to, Ilhan Omar. She seems to be saying the right things. Why? Well, 50 nations now have stood, I think 50 nations have stood up in support of the democratically elected government of Venezuela, named by the name Nicolas Maduro. I think his name is Nicholas, isn't it? Nicholas? Again, I don't keep track of y'all's kings and lords. I know his last name is Maduro. They elected him, they have him in place. I don't agree with governments, but the people there, they want him, they elected him, he should be government, period. So this side stood up with 50 nations against the United States and Britain and all the rest of their sellout colonies that all work for the kings that run America. And the other side had 50 nations stood up, led by Russia, China. And now, mind you, I don't think there's any good guys in this. I don't want you to get me wrong. There's no good guys in this. They're all killers. They're all kings and lords and taking us down to World War III, down that parasitic path to destroy the planet we got to live on. But there is a side of peace. There is a side of maintaining the peace. See, in peaceful times, people can think. In destabilized, fearful times, people can't. And that's one of the models of whatever forces actually are behind the Pentagon, the military-industrial complex, parasite of the world, destroying the planet we got to live on, is they don't want people to think. They want you scared. They want you fearful. Because if people don't have time to think, they don't have time to process and say, yeah, we've destroyed Latin America, and this is just another ploy to go down and colonize and destroy and another bloody revolt. The thing I'm gonna ask people in Venezuela, if you live in Venezuela, you got family in Venezuela, I got family all over Venezuela. The entire nation is my family. Please, please put Maduro on the board and put the military-industrial complex of America, Britain, France on the board. And then take their resumes and put the resumes underneath the boards and just list all the people on the board that they've murdered. List how many people they murdered. List how many countries they've destroyed. List how many revolts they started. List how many times they actually brought democracy to an actual country. And then go down in the section of their resume, the democracy section. The destroying nations, the bloody revolt section, and look at the references. Check the resume before you pick a side, because I know y'all don't like Maduro. I know you don't. I don't like him neither. But then again, I don't like Trump. I didn't like Obama, didn't like Clinton, don't like Bush. I don't like none of them. The only thing I like about right now is it looks like people are fighting. That's a good thing. Anytime the media and the government don't agree, and the different sections and the factions, anytime that people are actually upset because they don't have a slick bastard selling them devastation and violence, colonization, then I'm good. So I don't know what's going on, but something good is going on. That's all I'll say. Because I see fighting amongst the billionaires that divvied America up. The Venezuelans, you need to check this. You need to check yourself. Y'all need to check each other. Because after this ball gets rolling, you're not going to stop it. They are saying the Colombian military is moving. What is it? They're moving towards the borders or something like that. The Colombian military, or the president of Colombia was here last week meeting the killers in Washington and Cuba. I think they said special force. I mean, let the news play out, but I think they said something to the effect that special forces of America are in Cuba getting activated. Once the bloody revolt gets going, weapons and guns and everything is in there, hidden in the things and supplies that they say are heading to your country, you're not going to stop it.
An armed faction within Venezuela that engages in war crimes, as you did in Guatemala, El Salvador, and Nicaragua.
All right, he ain't going to
respond to that kind of personal attack, which is not a question.
You feel that your past actions in Iran-Contra have permanently impaired your ability to fairly and transparently deal in the region.
My question is whether you're aware of any transfers of weapons or defense equipment by the United States government to groups in Venezuela. I ask this question because you have a record of such actions.
In 1991, you pleaded guilty to 2 counts of withholding information from Congress regarding your involvement in the Iran Contra affair. I fail to understand why members of this committee or the American people should find any testimony that you give today to be truthful.
It's not going to be truthful because he's a liar and a killer. But outside of other things, I want to make sure that people see the stage versus what we need to focus on, right? I like what she's saying because she seems to be the one that's stepping up for the human race on multiple occasions. The rest of them lying bastards, don't know who they are, don't care who they are. Congress kills people all over this planet. They funnel weapons all over Latin America. So the idea that this little demon right here is doing anything worse than them is bull. Senate too. I have no interest in any of them. All you got to do is go talk to the soldiers. Just talk to the soldiers. That's all I'm saying. Everybody you know serving in the military has been to Iraq, Afghanistan, and serving active duty. And they disappear for a couple weeks, couple months, couple years. Just go talk to them. What y'all doing? Up to. You will hear things that will boggle your mind. We've been sending weapons and funding both sides, and the whole Iran-Iraq Contra affair, when we funded both sides, we trained both sides and got them to kill themselves because we treat them like they're dumb monkeys because we're a parasite on this planet. We don't understand destabilize the entire earth will fall back on our children because we don't have maggots. We've been doing that all over Latin America. We've been doing it all over Africa, and they do it all damn day in America. They do it through the news here. They do it with weapons and training in the military and the CIA and other countries. You divide people up, you get them to fight and kill each other, then you don't have to worry about anything. That's why I'm not in your leagues. That's why I don't play your games. Because this whole race, ethnicity, religion, conflict, being pitted against each other, the nations, that's just a parasitic game. That game doesn't end. Like I ask people, ask yourself the question. Before you get involved in a project, you have to ask yourself the question, how is this project gonna end? I mean, this is like corporate America 101, right? This is private sector 101. Before we get started with the project, what is the result? Like, what are we trying to solve? Where are we trying to get to? And if you look at the plan, like you work in the military-industrial complex, if you're one of the soldiers, you work for Raytheon, you work for these big killers, you work for the federal government, you work for the French foreign, is it French foreign? I don't know. But you work for any of these killers. Like, look at the end of it. What is the end story? And divide and conquer of the people and destroying the ecosystems that we all need to live in. The end of the story is we all die, our kids die and choke to death from a lack of oxygen. If at the end of that story is not a good thing, then you shouldn't be in that project. You shouldn't be in that project. So I'm against all the wars. I'm a man about peace because I wasn't given an option. I took my faith seriously and I still do. Now, I don't take you seriously. I don't take the churches seriously. Why? Because homeless people die outside the churches every daggone day. Nah, that's why I don't go to church. That's why I don't go there. I don't go there because at nighttime, these mega churches close and lock their doors. If you get, you know what? I'll make a deal for I hate the word Christian. I do, because the word Christian has nothing to do with Christ. So I don't like the word. But for the rest of y'all, I'll make a deal with you. I come to church again. Outside of somebody getting married or dying or some sort of special event or mitzvah, something like that, I'll come to church. I come to a temple again the minute that your churches stop locking their doors. All right, that's when I'll come. I'll come to church again when people don't die in the shadow of your massive steeples, right? When you start doing any of the things that thing told you to do, that God thing told you, that's because I live in a country where you have millions of homeless people who sleep on the street and it's like 12 degrees outside, 1 degree. And all I see government have to open little buildings sometimes in the cities to let them in. I'll lock them out. I'm not sure how we got over to the churches, but let's get back to it. I don't want to go into an anti-church thing. I'm not anti-church. Don't get me wrong. I'm just, if you're not doing sentient things, then you shouldn't pretend you're sentient. If you're not doing things displaying your love, then don't pretend to us that you got loving. And with this whole Congress thing, trying to pretend and do gestures like they actually aren't involved in trafficking weapons, like they don't sign the laws, that they don't write, that actually send weapons all over the planet, that they don't get to chastise this demon, but they're just like them.
I don't think this entire line of questioning is meant to be real questions, and so I will not reply.
Abrams was twice convicted of unlawfully withholding information from Congress in 1991 over him covertly selling weapons to Iran to fund Nicaraguan rebels in the 1980s. His portfolio also includes accusations of covering up massacres and supporting repression campaigns of dictators in Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. Ariel Gold, one of the protesters at the session, explains why she felt the need to act.
As he started to speak, I just couldn't help myself but to stand up and tell Congress, to tell the Foreign Affairs Committee, don't listen to this war criminal. Elliott Abrams has shown how much he wants to go to war. And this is putting Venezuela in a really dangerous situation, most likely plunging the country into a bloody civil war. And it's not what the people of Venezuela want. The majority of Venezuelans do not want U.S. military intervention. And yet we're in this dangerous situation where it's a real possibility.
Well, it's a real possibility. It's not even a possibility. It's going to happen. This is why I'm warning Venezuelans. Y'all need to get out the street. Y'all need to stay in the house. Don't be in the street. Because they're not telling Americans the truth here. They're telling Americans that you need help, that you need military, that you need guns and weapons, and you need an invasion. You need a bloody revolt or you won't be happy. And they'll send them down. The Americans are going to go for it. It was like I was looking at false flags. Y'all know speaking of false flags, who sent me down there? Alan sent me down there. Y'all remember the chemical false flag attacks?
The BBC's Syria producer is challenging the mainstream narrative on an alleged chemical attack in the country. He claims that video of the supposed aftermath of a toxic strike in the Syrian city of Douma was, in fact, staged.
I had to take a moment for false flags, because Ellen mentioned it. Yes, all your wars are false flags. Every war we've gone into has been a false flag. They lied you into every single war that we've ever been in. And it's been very well documented. They've done Freedom of Information Act. They pulled the documents. If Wanda Links comes around, I think Ellen's got a lot of links too anyway. But every war you've ever been in has always been a lie. So the odds of Venezuela is not a lie. The odds that Syria wasn't a lie, stupid. It's always a lie. They lied to us because we're liable. We actually believe our kings and lords. And so they lied to us to go murder people and steal what they have and not come home and share it with you, but keep it for themselves because they're parasites to destroy the ecosystems. So all the wars have always been a lie. So half the time I'm just sitting back and I'm just waiting for the next Maduro chemically attack this people news report. This is going to happen. You know it's going to happen. Because Americans are gullible and naive, and the deep state, y'all listening, they know how stupid you are. They know how tribal you are. They know how you really don't read anything, that you just kind of watch the news and make decisions based off of your political party or your race or some other bigoted stuff that you want to keep around. Whatever your president says, or your vice president, or your last president, your vice president, the people, all your betters that you believe, whatever they tell you, you'll go for. So I'm just waiting for them to say Maduro attacked his people. Right? All they got to do is show a few clips of you running around in the street yelling and screaming, throwing bottles, and Americans are going to co-sign whatever their government says. I mean, there's a pretty good chance Americans going to do it anyway, because Americans hate each other. Americans are fighting each other. They're still yelling and screaming about all racism and stupid stuff. So, of course, Americans are probably going to go for it. For the people who actually get this, just remember, when they come out and they say Maduro's attacking his people, it's a lie. Because it's coming. Because this was, and most people still don't even know that the Syrian chemical attack was a staged event, but there's a reporter from the BBC who wants to explain it to you.
It is a line that Russia and Damascus have long maintained. Others, though, accepted the video at face value, touting it as evidence of the Syrian government attacking its own people. RT's Murad Gazdiev investigates.
You don't hear it very often, not even a doubt. Not a suspicion, but a certainty that the hospital scenes of the alleged chemical attack in Douma were staged. And this is coming from a BBC Syria producer.
After almost 6 months of investigations, I can prove without a doubt that the Douma hospital scene was staged. No fatalities occurred in the hospital.
The incident in question occurred almost a year ago when the Syrian military took on the Army of Islam in the town of Douma. The White Helmets, working with Islamists, released videos of an alleged chemical attack. Hospitals, people in panic. Reaction was immediate, and violent. Trump launched more than 100 cruise missiles at Syria. France and Britain chipped in. The UN Security Council in uproar. Few took any time to think. For years, Duma had been held by the Army of Islam, hardcore Islamists, the same guys that caged women and elders on roofs to protect themselves against airstrikes.
I can tell you that Jaish al-Islam ruled Duma with an iron fist. They co-opted activists, doctors, and humanitarians with fear and intimidation.
You may also remember, in the lead-up to this incident, Russia warned this could happen, that rebels might stage a chemical attack to invite foreign intervention, derail an evacuation deal.
We have undeniable evidence that this was yet another staged attack that involved intelligence agencies of one of the countries that is rushing to spearhead a Russophobic campaign.
But no one in the West listened or pretended not to hear, not the media, not the politicians. Here, by the way, is how BBC reported on the incident back then.
Disturbing reports of a chemical weapons attack.
Chemical attack carried out by the Assad regime.
The medics are doing what they can, but they're overwhelmed.
Dozens of people have been killed due to poison gas.
A chemical attack did happen, believes Riam, but everything else, the casualties, the panic, the videos, those were meant to achieve something. What evidence Riam has, we don't know. Aside from a few tweets, details are scarce. We're waiting for more. We've requested comment from Riam, the BBC, and we'll keep you posted. But it seems not for the first time, full-blown hysteria over supposed chemical attack casualties may not quite be how it's claimed.
Yes, and it is very serious, I know. I like to joke and I like to laugh, but people, I don't really have a choice, right? When you're an adult, you're not really given many choices. And I'm an adult, right? Sometimes we can laugh. Some of the reports and things around the world that we're destroying are funny because it's ridiculous and how stupid people are who are still supporting this nonsense. But we got to give the examples, and it does get a little serious sometimes. And this is one of the serious ones. I'm not given a choice. Like I said, apparently I got a platform. Y'all watch me. So I kind of laugh at what I laugh at, but I have an obligation to the people who are my cousins, your cousins, who are being murdered around this world in this parasitic model of destroying things. And this is a serious thing, but it's good to point it out and remind people because, you know, these things, they fade into memory. The news cycle goes too quick that we have to look back and just be remembered that we're always lied into conflict. We're always lied into go kill people, and people end up dying because of it. So sometimes we got to be a little serious, and this is a serious one. Why? Because they say, well, Trump ordered the airstrikes, and, you know, well, it was a good thing to do on the Trump side. And the Obama side is like, no, he shouldn't have done that. But that's not really what happened is on the Trump side, they were there, you know, well, they cheered it, but the other side was like, yeah, it's bad because it's Trump. No, but actually Obama was okay with that because Obama did the same damn thing and Clinton did the same thing and Bush did the same damn thing. And it paints a picture that none of these presidents are in control of anything. And so we got to be serious about that. We crystal 100% clear that no American president controls foreign policy at all, never has, probably since I've been alive, at all. They don't make any damn decision. So your voting is pointless. Your 2020 is insignificant when it comes to murder. You're insignificant when it comes to colonization, insignificant when it comes to globalism. That's why I hate your 2020s. And that's why I can't, and this is kind of what the video was about. It's about parasitic people and those supporting the parasites. Those supporting the military-industrial complexes. Like I want it to topple. I want the whole defense industry to go. Why? Because they're killers. And I'm talking about the lady who runs the fax machine, the people who sweep the floor, the people who cut the grass, those who do their landscaping, the ones who make the bullets, and the ones who fly the planes. All of it has to go because it's a parasitic system. Yes, I want millions of jobs to leave America now. Millions. Why? Because I don't believe in gang activity. I don't believe in gang mentality. I don't believe in drive-by shootings of other nations. I don't believe in you judging these little kids doing drive-by shootings and you support drive-by shooters shooting nations. I don't believe in sellouts. I don't believe in hypocrisy. Yes, you should leave. I could go get a job in the military-industrial complex right now. I could probably draw a six-figure income from the things I've done for some of the evil corporations I've worked for. Why don't I? Because I don't believe in gang activity. I don't need to join a gang. I don't need a massive house. I don't need a fast car. I don't need to put my peacock out to go get a wife. I don't need to put my peacock out to get a husband. I don't need to put my kids in the best school colleges, indoctrinating them to be killers too. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I believe you should live in a hemp tiny house. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. I think if you're gonna sell people out, that's exactly where you should live. I think that's best for you and us. I'm gonna keep going. I got some other things I wanna show. I'm not gonna let that finish up, but we're about to go start a bloody revolt in Venezuela, and I think you caring more about your health care makes you a sellout. I think you caring more about your wall makes you a sellout. I think you caring more about the things that make your life cushy and a lot nicer and safer and friendlier, stealing my rights and everybody around me's rights to go because they're going to murder other people. I think that's a bad deal. I do. I think human life is the basis of everything. And if we can't agree that we shouldn't murder people, then I think everything that you believe is crap. I do. And I'm sticking to it. But it doesn't really matter what I believe when it comes to that, because the planet's kind of going to decide for itself, and our de-evolved systems will make those decisions. We destroy an ecosystem, we keep starting conflict, they keep you in fear, they keep destabilizing planets, and it all is going to go away anyway, because we don't make parasitic kids that can live in the aftermath of all this de-evolved minimum sentient and support for all these systems. I think you should go get a real job. That's what I think. I think you shouldn't work for the industrial complex. I think you should go get an adult job and stop acting like a child. That's what I think. I think your brain should evolve. I think you should reconfigure those neurons in a way that doesn't involve violence. There's something I want to show you. Something else I want to show you. Let me see. Maybe I should look at comments real quick. Here's something else I wanted to show you. I think it actually was from a couple of days ago. No. We did the yellow vest. What are y'all talking about? If not for love, what good is living? Lori, that's kind of my point. If we can't agree on love, if we can't agree on letting people live, nothing else is interesting you got to say. That's why I kind of laugh a lot, because to me it's stupid. We need to have a choice, though. We can join the yellow vests around the world for RIC. We can, Kia. I think there's a time and a place for everything. I think that we got to be very careful when we do that. Because the killers, the people who are destroying they actually run the plantation that we do. And they're prepared for us to put on yellow vests. They've been prepared for it since the Patriot Act, probably before all the presidents, all the administrations, all the 2020s and 2016s and 2014s and 2019, I'd gone over all of them, all the administrations have all been used in a lot of police states. So they're ready to do some killing. And if they'll tackle and shoot and the things that police are doing right now to kids who stand up and protest, what the hell you think they're gonna do to us? What do you think they would do to the adults? If Americans put on yellow vests, and my point has always been the same when it comes to that, everybody's gonna have to stand up. You can't have children standing in the street. I'm not talking about children, I'm talking about adult children. You can't have people who are still divided up against each other. You gotta have people who are united. This is what I wanna show you, look at this. Because I like this, because... Relax. I like this, because it breaks up a narrative. It breaks up a narrative that police are racist.
Dude, stop, mother.
Stop!
Get your hands up right now. Get your hands up right now. Mark, stay down. Hey, we need to watch Mark. He's hurt. Don't kick. Stop it.
Don't know what's happening. Don't know why they pulled him over. And don't care. Don't care. If your government can hire people to pull you over at a traffic stop, and it ends up you being on the ground, being shot in the testicles, which is what he was, with a taser. I don't care. I don't care. Whatever laws that ended in this happening, like these are reasons you don't vote. These are reasons that you don't go along with. These are reasons why you stop playing and you get upset when people start posting about 2020. I do. I get a little upset. I get a little annoyed by it. I get annoyed when I hear things that police are racist. I get annoyed by that. The police, because you're stupid. I'm sorry. I love you to death, but you're ignorant, and I'm going to call you ignorant if you're ignorant. The police go after poor people. That's why this man is driving this little car. I don't care what he has. I don't care why they stopped him. I don't care, because they're violating his rights, her rights. If there's a kid, and there's a kid in the back of that car, oh my God, now I'm pissed. I'm sorry, Lori, I'm getting upset. I am getting upset, because you can see they blurred out the back, so there's a child back there. There is no reason on this planet why police who work for you should be doing this. And it's not a problem with the police, it's a problem with you. It's a problem with you. And there's one part in this clip where you can see they got the man down, and his shorts came off, and they shot him in the testicle with a damn taser. I can't say what I gotta say next, because if I say it, then they'll shut this video off. But you use the resources you have to protect your family. You use the skills that you have to do what's right, and this is wrong. It's all wrong. But why are the police being abusing Americans of all race, colors, sizes, and shapes? Why are police abusing French people of all shapes, colors, sizes, and shapes? Because the people don't want the laws. The people simply don't want the laws. And if the people actually are responsible for making a government, if the government writes the laws and the police don't want the laws, then the laws shouldn't be there. And so the people stand up and the people protest. House protest, because that's what you're supposed to do, whether it's in your car or it's in your country. You're supposed to protest the state, not the other poor people who are victims of the state. Yes, it is wrong. It is wrong. It's so wrong. It's unbelievably wrong. But you know what? And the reason why I'm showing this, I'm showing it mainly because a lot of times on these sites, all you'll see is certain people being attacked by the police. That's all you'll see. And you'll see certain people blaming the police. You don't see the whole picture. You don't see the big picture. I got a lot of friends who live in poverty in all race, color, sizes, and shapes. And the police been after them a long time. But we make them into emotional debates. And when you make them emotional debates, then nothing changes. And that's why, and that's part of the reason why I hate your Congress and I don't like your government. Because your government's not there for me. It's not there for you. You just haven't realized yet it's not there for you. You're still in this tribal fight because you got on this jersey and you're the Cowboys, and so you're supposed to be on the other side, and you are the problem. You are the reason that thrive. You are the reason why we're destroying the system we need to live in, that we don't even need to live in. Our kids need to live in. That's why I'm always for the people. I'm always for the people. I'm never for your government. Always for the people. Let me see. I want to read some comments. Y'all talking. I ain't talking to me. I was saddened by Omar's apology for her truth about the AIPAC. She apologized, Kia? I didn't know that. Well, but I'm not surprised. You know, but Kia, it's not a thing to be even surprised by. Like, we know how this works. It's not even to be sad about, right? Because we need to stop pretending that politicians have their own voices. They don't. They're surrounded by killers. They're going to do exactly what they're told to do. And I think her, like Trump, like Obama, like, I don't know, the Bush. Yeah, I think Bush kind of slipped and said a few things too. You slip and say things. You slip and say things and the truth actually comes out, like that truth. Every now and then they'll slip and they'll say something that's true, but they forget that they're surrounded by killers and they'll get corrected. Speaking of slip and speaking of AIPAC and speaking of treason in Washington and a government that actually doesn't serve its people, somebody else slipped. Somebody else slipped. You reminded me of something, Kia. Somebody else slipped.
Calling for war with Iran. It came in an interview on the sidelines of a US-sponsored Middle East summit in Poland.
From here, I'm going to a meeting with 60 foreign ministers and envoys from countries around the world that are against Iran. What is important about this meeting and this meeting is not secret, because there are many of those, is that this is an open meeting with representatives of leading Arab countries who are sitting down together with Israel in order to advance the common interest of war against Iran.
In its transcript of that interview, Netanyahu's official Twitter account deleted the phrase war with Iran and replaced it with combating Iran. But in the original video, you can hear the Prime Minister saying in Hebrew the word that translates as war.
Because every now and then you slip and the truth comes out. I think every now and then you get passionate, and I think that's her name, Omar. She'll say something that's true. Every now and then that passion will slip out. That's why I love Ron Paul. I post stuff by us. Every day I see Ron do a video, I post it. Why? Because he's still speaking things that are truthful. He's still speaking for the people. I don't care what the face that says it. If they say it's true, and I go with it. Doesn't matter who says it, right? Obama said truthful things. Our country is corrupt from top to bottom. Bernie said we're an oligarchy. Trust it. And trust that he's part of that oligarchy. Trump says Washington is a swamp. Now he's in the swamp. You don't go in the swamp and fight the swamp creatures. When you get in the swamp, you're surrounded by all the anaerobic water and the monsters. You have no choice. You're going to do exactly what the swamp tells you. Draining the swamp is not a politician thing to do. Cleaning up Washington, as Obama said, is not anything a politician can do. You can't fix anything from inside the system. You can speak up every now and then. You can say something. You can be in Russia and say the American security agencies aren't actually there for America, which is what Trump said. Or you can slip up and say something, or you can, passion comes in, you say what Omar said, right? But the truth is you can't do anything about it. These people kill presidents. They kill entire nations. They burn continents. My God, Haiti's been standing up and rioting for the past week. People are dying, and it's not even on American news. Not that I watch American news, but I can tell it's not because all my friends post this nonsense, and there's nothing being posted on Haiti. What's wrong with Haiti? Well, $2 billion are missing from their government. Where'd that $2 billion go? Well, I think somebody needs to check the Clinton's accounts. That's what I think. You need to look at a bank statement or something. You might find a $2 billion. Well, actually, that wouldn't how the transaction work. It'd be like a $1 billion transaction. The other billion was saying a sellout government that they put in place. They say that there is no government more meddled with than Haiti, and it's by the American government. Constantly and consistently. Why? Because Haiti's mineral rich, just like Venezuela is. Everything is about resources and power over people. People are significant, but one day they won't be. Nothing about your ethnicity. Nothing is about your race. Nothing is about your nation. Nothing is about citizenry. All of that is a fantasy. All of that is getting you to divide up against other people so the kings can continue to fill their coffers. Because the kings became gods. That's all they finally became gods. They finally got a generation to cheer for politicians like rock stars. They finally got people who would cheer at the kings and queens walk through the courtyard, and people who actually believe that crap, as opposed to people who would cheer while they're looking and plot behind the scenes to get the king overthrown. They finally got a generation dumb enough. Generation like you. All right, let me do comments. There's a whole bunch of good stuff to look at. Like, I like the hypocrisy news. Just keep in mind, everybody around this planet is your family. Treat the planet how you would treat your family. Treat your kids, give your kids the future they deserve. Realize they're not maggots. They actually got to eat food and drink clean water and need to have a place to live. All right. Do you think they can hold up their end of the deals? Do I think that they can hold up their end of the deals? I don't think, no, of course not, Brenda, right? Because politicians, they take the money ahead of time. They take the money ahead of time. And even if they didn't take the money ahead of time, it doesn't matter. So it doesn't really matter what they say when they're on the pulpit. They take the money, they're going to go with those industries, or those industries will actually probably kill them, right? So organized crime, Wall Street is mostly organized crime anyway. You know, these markets are criminal. You don't get big being honest, but we like to pretend that that's true. And we work for those corporations. You don't get big without being a killer. It's just how business works. You got to be maniacal, deceitful, not have any empathy or compassion for human life to become a big business. Why you shouldn't have any corporations with more than 5,000 people. So just to get on TV, they got to take the money. So they've already made their choices for the corporations. So after they get elected in, they can't keep the deal. They don't keep the deal in the contracts with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. So they're definitely not going to keep deals after election. And even if you actually luck up and get a grassroots president in, and they actually try to do something, they'll just kill him. It actually is that simple. It's like, to me, like, I think it's a grown-up way of looking at things. It's like not having any little pretend fantasies that money doesn't. We say money makes the world go around until it's time to show you 2020, you want to elect somebody, and then we pretend money doesn't make the world go around. We pretend they didn't take the money and they took the money. So like I said, it's just whether you're playing real football or if you're playing fantasy football. And most people, they play this fantasy politic thing like we all aren't going to die if we keep doing these dumb things that we're doing. Yeah, they put their heads on the poles. That's what they always did. They put their heads on the poles and they parade them out. That's what they did to JFK. They put his head on a pole, they paraded him out, and everybody since, every president since it has been the 36th president. There is no way any president is going to stand up and do anything significant for America. But people like to believe it. Right? You think Trump is destroying America, and they think Trump is saving America, and Trump is doing exactly what he's told to do. As long as they keep us in fantasy football and fantasy politics, they're going to destroy the ecosystem, because that's what we do. All right. Let me go back to the top. I know I missed a whole bunch of comments. There's a whole bunch of other stuff I want to show you. I wanted to talk about sugar. We were on health the other day. We were going down the health road. I want to talk about sugar. Okay, got a little bit of time. Can I talk about sugar real quick? I want to show y'all something. They're saying that cigarette smoking is as bad as sugar. We had got some good health discussions yesterday. Focus on health, people. Why is health important? Because if you're not strong,
correct. But is it really that bad for you? Or could it just be a clever ploy? New York City's health department has launched a campaign comparing soda to cigarettes. But is it really that bad for you? Or could it just be a clever ploy to reduce the consumption of the sugary drinks? RT's Trinity Chavez explains.
You've probably heard that drinking sodas aren't good for you, but many still do it anyway. Because how harmful could a nice ice-cold sugary beverage be, right? Well, apparently, they could be worse than smoking cigarettes.
New York health officials are asking an important question.
Which one of these is okay to give my kids? This one has a warning from the Surgeon General. This one has over 15 teaspoons of sugar and can lead to tooth loss, increased risk of heart disease, and conditions that can lead to cancer. Now, which one is the health hazard?
I'm surprised because I drink sugary drinks and I don't smoke, so really making me conscious now.
The ad cites the dangers of both smoking and drinking soda and is primarily aimed toward teenagers.
Health officials say that sugary drinks like this can cause tooth decay, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease, and they want people to know the risks.
I think a lot of people have stopped drinking sugary drinks. You know, there's a lot of healthy alternatives. Kombuchas are very popular juices. I think, you know, as like millennials grow older, become parents, it's going to change with how they raise their kids.
New York Health Commissioner Dr. Oxidis Barbat said in a statement, like cigarettes, sugary drinks are bad for our health and can have long-term consequences. Through this campaign, we hope all New Yorkers will understand that while sugary drinks may be sweet going down, their impact on our health is not. We urge all New Yorkers to consume fewer sugary drinks, and parents should not give sugary drinks to their children.
I agree. I'm actually weaning myself off from sugary drinks.
Meanwhile, sugary drinks aren't the only thing causing concern. While it's widely known that drinking alcohol takes a toll on one's body, new research suggests that heavy drinking may change DNA, which could increase your craving for alcohol.
Okay, I've not known that, but I know too much of alcohol is bad, so I'm a social drinker.
Scientists at Rutgers and Yale University's School of Medicine focused on two genes implicated in the control of drinking behavior, PER2, which influences the body's biological clock, and POMC, which regulates our stress response system. By comparing groups of moderate binge and heavy drinkers, the researchers found that the two genes had changed in the binge and heavy drinkers and also showed reductions in gene expression. These changes increased with greater alcohol intake. Professor Deepak Sarkar, senior author of the study, said, "We found that people who drink heavily may be changing their DNA in a way that makes them crave alcohol even more."
So I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna stop because I always love it when the truth finally comes out. You know how people, we used to talk about epigenetics all the time and try to explain to you one of the biggest scams on this planet is you actually taking medicine and not thinking you're changing your DNA. Everything you put in your body alters your gene expression. Everything, and every chemical changes it in a negative way. Every single one. And alcohol is a chemical. Unfortunately, it's not a natural thing that's been going in your body for millions of years. And so, no, it's not that alcohol is changing your DNA. It's your body's adapting to the dumb stuff you do. Okay? It's not sugars changing your DNA. It's your body adapting to the dumb things you do because of culture. Like, we got into this discussion yesterday. I try to explain to people nicely. They want to, people believe anything they want. They can believe anything they want. I had a sister tell me that eating meat is, you get so much more benefit from eating meat than fruits and vegetables are actually harmful because they harm your stomach lining. And I tell you, I don't listen. The human body is an amazing thing. You can do anything it wants to do. I don't tell your DNA, your genetics. There's 7 billion different types of human bodies on this planet. But the reality is, for the vast majority, is that the things you eat affect your health. And almost all the studies came out told you to eat less meat. And they've been doing that for the past 20 years. It's not because meat is healthy, all right? It's because meat has casein in it. Yes, meat does, and so does milk. And these things aren't supposed to be in the human body because they haven't been in the human body, which is why they alter DNA and they cause problems. They have an inflammation response. The minute you put meat on your tongue, you realize you have an inflammation response the minute it touches your tongue, right? Your body fights meat and cheese and dairy the minute it touches your tongue. We just got to be honest about that. Now, that means to you that it's okay, then that's fine with you. And I'm okay with that. For me, my immune system is here to protect me. If my immune system inflames and it has a white blood cell response from the minute I put meat in my body, the minute I drink cow milk, you can believe in raw milk if you want to. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay drinking milk. Like, people can believe anything they want to believe. But your body is adapting to the decisions you make. If you're still buying, so I go to the store every night, I see people with like these 2 liters of soda, and they're buying this stuff, giving it to their kids. All the fountain drinks and all these fast, they still got soda. People, I go out to dinner on rare occasion, kids are drinking soda, and so are their parents. I just, you want to keep doing bad ideas because culturally you were raised to, and we're going to have significant problems. And this is another way we're a parasite, right? Because we take things because we're born in that culture, that family, and we're given philosophies, we're given a race, we're given a religion, we're given an ethnicity. But you never get to a point where you can question, is that the right thing to do? What does the science say? What does the data say? My goodness, the World Health Organization say. They even came out and said meat is a carcinogen, right? School of Medicine, Cornell. I don't debate these things. I just put information out and say, you do anything you want to do. That's up to you, right? But this is why I stay out the healthcare debate. I don't even touch it. People eat carcinogens happily. They got bowls of sugar on the table, on the kitchen table. I was born to have a bowl of sugar. I had a bowl of sugar up to about 10 years ago. And once I finally read the study, sugar's a carcinogen. Sugar causes cancer. For me, it was just a simple decision. Like I said, I'm a simple man. I like to keep it simple. Sugar causes cancer. My kids their body shouldn't have cancer. So I stopped buying sugar. I haven't bought sugar not in the granular form in over 10 years. I haven't had a sugar bowl. Why? Because I don't want my kids having a sugar culture. I don't want them to have a culture that will give them disease. And that's part of the reason why I became vegetarian also. Why? Because meat's a carcinogen. Meat has carcinogenic things in it. Can the body get human benefits from it? Sure. Why don't I smoke? Well, smoking is bad for your health. I don't want my kids to buy into that culture because once they buy into it, it's too hard to get out of it. Why am I a vegetarian? I'm not a vegan. I'd love to be a vegan. I can't be. I have a lot of friends who are vegan and they have the ability to do it. I wish I did. I didn't. I grew up on meat, cheese, dairy, eggs, and the 4 healthy, what was it, the 4 square meals, the food pyramid thing? And I believed all of that. And so my body largely at young ages was predisposed to getting nutrients and compounds and minerals from those things. And my body has a call for those things. So I wish I could be vegan. But every generation's supposed to upgrade the next generation. But you can't upgrade your kids if you're not really to accept that the world is not flat. It's really what it comes down to. We're born into our bigotries and we're born into cultures, and some of us can release them and some can't. So I don't tell people what to do. Do anything you want to do. I'm here to make my kids an upgrade. I'm here to make my kids stronger than I am. I'm here to make my kids healthier than I am. I think bad times are coming, actually. And outside the fact that I love them, I want them to make me to be a bad memory, because they're so much further beyond what I am. It means that I have to upgrade me, which means I got to drop my birth bigotries. I got to drop my birth cultures, look at real data and make real decisions. Everything you eat changes your DNA. Everything. There shouldn't be a chemical anywhere on this planet around human food or animals' food, anywhere, because it all alters DNA. And so, but I appreciate this link here. Y'all can watch the whole thing. I'll post it. I think it's important for people to really focus on the fact that your DNA is constantly being changed, and the DNA of the next generation, your kids, will be changed by what you're eating. And if you're eating these pharmaceutical things, you're eating these food made in laboratory, the processed food and all these sugars, and you're drinking all this alcohol, you're not trying to make the world a better place for your children. You're trying to make your children very sick. It's a hard thing to swallow, but being an adult's not easy. Nobody said it's supposed to be easy. Being a parent's not easy. Nobody said it was easy. Not everybody should be parents. And that's a rough. My theories on that, I'll just simply say that if you don't have the ability to upgrade yourself, I think you should rethink that children thing. I think the next generation is always supposed to be stronger and better. And if you have a next generation, your number one goal should make them stronger and better than you, not to give them the same problems you have because you were born into a culture you can't seem to get rid of. You were born into philosophies that are fantasy, that were given for conflict or to make corporations big money that you can't release. There's a whole lot there. I'm gonna go to comments because my mind is my brain is starting to hurt. There's a whole lot. There's a whole lot. That's all I'm saying. It always comes back down to you aren't what you were born as. And you got to think bigger than your birth. You got to think bigger than your nation. Got to think bigger than your race. You got to think bigger than all of this crap that's used to make money off of you. Because the same reason we invade nations and the tribalism, division, and racial, ethnic, religious things that they give you at birth is the same reason they give you sugar. Same damn reason they teach you that medicine is all pharmaceutical and it's not holistic to make money. Jonathan, welcome. Let me see. I've been told us in a bird cage that we're gonna be blinded 5G because bots can't do memes, picture, talk, and humor. All right, Brenda, I'm not even sure where you're going, but we are going to be blinded by 5G. We're going to be killed by 5G. 5G alters cellular creation. You know, you shouldn't have 5G for the same reason that you shouldn't put chemicals in food, right? Not in human food. It alters DNA. It alters cellular activity. It causes cancer. You know, the idea that people still put cell phones up to their head is insane to me. The idea that the 5G is even considered means that we don't have a government. We have captors. They're just making money. Yeah, and there are people with sugar diets, Lori, and that's all they do is exist off of sugar. Do I take supplements? No, I do not take supplements, Kia. I do not take supplements. I'm not against supplements. We didn't evolve eating supplements. But there are people who probably need supplements. I mean, like my philosophies behind supplements are simply this, is that if you can't get food in a whole, raw, natural, if not organic form, you got to take supplements, right? Because the soils are depleted. The soils are dead. Right? You look at the studies of Elaine Ingham out of the Rodale Institute, her book, Soil Food Web. The microbiology is not in the soil anymore. They killed the soil with the chemicals. They destroyed the microbiology. And so the way plants have always eaten on this planet, they're not eating. So the nutrients aren't in the peppers. The nutrients aren't in the tomatoes. They look like tomatoes and they taste like tomatoes sometimes, but they're not healthy. So if you can't grow any of your own food, you absolutely have to take supplements, but you got to be careful of where you get them from because not all supplements are created equal. You know, a lot of it's crap. There's a company, I hate to do plugs, but there is a company I like called Longevity. I do like them. If I had to do supplements, it would probably be that. But Kia, what I do a lot is I grow a lot, as much of my own food as I can. I buy local food as much as I can. because I know how the farmers grow it. And when I grow, I don't grow for production. I don't grow and put Miracle Grow in the ground and herbicides and pesticides. I just stick seeds in the ground. Whatever comes up, comes up. Whatever doesn't come up, doesn't come up. I let the soil rest. It's kind of like cover crops. I'll let that happen and I'll replant and I'll eat them fresh off the vine. Fresh off the vine. Everything I grow, for the most part, I don't cook it. I eat it raw the same way we evolved to eat it. So I don't need supplements. I drink a lot of smoothies. Like, the whole point of supplements is to supplement what's not in the fruits and vegetables. And if you're not doing any growing, you don't know anybody doing any growing, you're not a part of a CSA, or you don't eat fresh, raw fruits and vegetables that are picked the same day, if not within the same hour, then you probably do got to do supplements. What scares me, Kia, is there's a guy, the inventor of vitamins. I'm gonna say he's the inventor of vitamins. I think he's out of the UK somewhere in Europe. You know, he did a documentary kind of explaining that your body can't actually derive the compound from the vitamins anyway. So if you can get it whole, raw, in a fresh format. I'm not against supplements, but no, I don't take any. I drink smoothies and I put I put 10 to 15 different fruits and vegetables in the smoothie to get a lot of different compounds from a lot of different plants and diverse ability, as much diversity as possible, because that's how we evolved. This little eat just one tomato plant. We ate a whole bunch of wide diversity, so our bodies evolved that way. So the more diverse the compounds, vitamins, nutrients in your body, the better. You got to do supplements to get that. Go ahead. Plus, it's a placebo effect. So I think if you take supplements, it probably doesn't hurt as much. But you want to check the company that you get them from. I like Longevity because the owner of the company, I listened to a lecture once, and what he kind of explained, I think he has a mineral mine, and it has like it's like 120 trace minerals or something in this mine. He actually takes those minerals out of the ground and actually puts them in juices and drinks. They're delicious. I've had them before. And so the human body needs all the compounds that are here on this planet that came from all the asteroids on the planet. That's why diatomaceous earth is so beneficial. It's got all those trace minerals, and human beings need all of that. You know, if I had to do supplements, if I was doing something wrong, my body wasn't responding well to what I eat, and I actually got a cold or flu, I might consider supplements. But you know, whatever I'm doing is working with my biology. But I don't trust my culture. I trust how we evolve. We evolve those things. So reduce sugar. So will reduce sugar or put a higher tax on it. It's always a scam, Mary. I don't think they're going to reduce the sugar. As long as people will buy it, they're going to make a lot of money from selling it. Yet the government subsidized fast food like McDonald's with those Happy Meals, soda and sugary drinks and pops. Yes, exactly, because they make big money from sick people. Sick people don't fight their government. Sick people don't stand up for their rights. Sick people stand up for their health care, which is just drugs and medical treatments. That's what sick people do. Sick people keep eating and living the way they do, taking all their drugs they do, living in fear. They don't want strong people. They want sick people. Sick people are easier to control. That's why the cattle don't revolt, because they don't let them graze openly. They don't let lots of bulls in the population being healthy and strong. The farmer ain't stupid. The farmer keeps one bull around. Keep that bull in a separate pen. They don't want healthy bulls running around with a bunch of female calves. They got to go out and get some milk. No, they don't want that. They don't want no bulls around. They don't want you healthy. No damn horns. You might act like a yellow vest. This wouldn't be an MSM if Coca-Cola didn't bottle filtered swamp water. Oh, well, you know, swamp water might be healthy, Sharon. I don't know. It's got some anaerobic microbiology, and it's kind of like a natural vaccine. They still the water and kill people. Med docs I've known who knew the effects of meat and dairy are vegetarian. And that's another point, Tammy, is the doctors are getting involved. That's why I'm not as angry about the doctors I've always been. You got doctors who are now standing up becoming vegetarians. You have doctors who are like, all right, it was a scam. Yeah, you know, Oprah was right. She wasn't right about a whole lot, but she was right about that. You know, you got a lot of doctors and scientists who are finally coming, because there's so much evidence. It's so much evidence, Tammy. It's overwhelming. You know, half the time, like I said, I don't debate with people. I'd say, hey, listen, go out to nutritionfacts.org, check out who's that? Dr. Greger, go out, read the China study, just go out and do your own read. If you actually care, if you actually want to question your culture that you were born in that's making you and your kids sick, then they'll go read the information, they'll watch a lecture. If they're really not interested, they just want to fight with you because sugar is healthy and meat's healthy, you know, I just, okay. Like, okay, you know, you say so. I'm good with that. I don't believe in force. It's for the same reason I don't tell people they should be vegetarians, for the same reason I tell people I believe in the Second Amendment. That's why. I don't believe in force. I don't believe in war. I don't believe in forcing people to do what I want them to do. I don't believe in violence. I don't believe that we evolve and get anywhere. It's like revolution. I don't believe in a violent revolution because they all end in the people who are oppressed becoming the oppressors. If you believe in rule by violence, if you believe in writing laws to force your neighbor to do what you want them to do, then violence stays prolific on the planet. So I don't believe in telling people what to do. I just give information. You know, and I appreciate the people who did that to me too, right? Back when, and even still with things today I'm stubborn on. I appreciate people, they just give me information. And when I'm ready, I'll move to that in that direction. But when you try to force people, it fails anyway. Because when you try to force them, then yeah, they fight back. And they're supposed to. True about the body not being able to absorb supplements. Right, Kia? Because there was some stuff about they got to have certain fats and things, like when we eat these compounds in plants, they come along with the enzymes that break them down and other fats and things that allow us to ingest it. And so they give us these fantasy ideas about taking this supplement or vitamin actually gives us something, and it really doesn't. The same thing with milk. They talk about the people who, we were supposed to drink milk because it helps with osteoporosis and bone density, but come to find out the people who drink more cow milk have higher osteoporosis and calcium problems in their bones. Like these studies, and these are studies that don't tend to make it out in the mainstream, or if they do, they're like a little 5-minute thing on the news and people don't know that. That's why I think it's important for social media to go that direction and start talking about the things that don't make the news. Strong people will stand up for themselves if they're people. They'll just cheer for healthcare and they'll cook a party and they'll act like a parasite behind the people who are parasites. You got to get a job working for Raytheon. You got to get a job working for Lockheed Martin. You got to join the military. You got to just get as much money as you can to pay for your healthcare. You got to get as much money as you can to get drugs to get up in the morning. You got to go work for these cartels and these killers and have that gang mentality. You got to have a high salary because you can't live passively because you eat things that make you sick. Kids drinking soda is a kind of odd to see. It's odd for me to see, Jasmine. When I see kids drinking soda, I'm just like, oh, Lord. I'm like, who are your parents? Some people can get mad at me if I say that, but I do. My kids, they don't drink. Please, Dad, get a soda. They don't even say that, no. That's not even a thing. Oh, Dad, we ordering pizza? Yeah, we're getting pizza. They don't even say, they don't mention soda. They don't even bring it up. But my kids kind of know. They're not sugarholics. You know, and that's not that I don't have sugar in my house. I don't have a bowl of sugar in my house. Don't get me wrong, get a damn apple pie, I'd tear the hell out of it. Shoot, I ate cherry pie last night. But you know what I try to do? They have the cherry pies now that are sugar-free. In fact, I was at, where was that when y'all was out there with your lovey-doveys and your Valentine? Doing your peacock thing. I was out at the grocery store. I was getting some food, real food. I went over to, not the pesticide-drenched sugary food you got out of a restaurant. I went over to Wegmans. I went to Wegmans. You know, Wegmans now, they're catching up to Giant. They got a sugar-free apple pie and cherry pie. You know you can get sugar-free pie, right? Sugar-free pie, you know where that comes from? That comes from your ancestors who knew when to pick the damn cherries. That comes from your ancestors who knew when to pick the damn apples, when they were really ripe and ready to go in a pie with enough sugars in them in content so that you could actually eat it and it would taste delicious without adding sugar. That's why they add sugar to pie, because the farmers don't know when to pick it. You know, it's all about the highest dollar figures, about harvesting when the sale says it's supposed to be harvested. And so they got to add a bunch of sugar to it to give you cancer and make you sick, because they don't want to pick it at a certain time because they want to maximize their profits. Also, I'm happy-ish with Wegmans. I'm not happy because they got more than 5,000 employees. They shouldn't exist. But they actually have veggie-based bags. They are getting up their plastic bags. They got veggie-based bags, man. I was happy about that. Let me see. It's also genetic. Some people crave sugar. Other people crave salt. Well, there's genetic bits in there, Yvonne. Like I posted something yesterday. I don't think people understood it. Sometimes my brain does weird things, but we hand down the genetics, right? Like where botany explained this a long time ago. We do that transgenerational epigenetics thing where we hand down to the next generation. All right, the parents are dumb. They eat a lot of pesticides and sugar and drink software, so the kids need to have this, you know? It's like the plant the sunflowers, you know, this dumb farmer, the guy with the bald head keeps planting me in soil depleted, you know, mineral depleted ground, so the next generation has to compensate for where the dummy puts the seeds, right? But they hand it down. And so the things that you actually eat are handed down to your kids. So if you're eating poison now, your kids are flipping genes for a poison in your kids, right? Which is the bad thing is they could flip off a gene that fights cancer. It's like, oh, we don't need this cancer gene because your kids are gonna die from the toxins in the environment. Your environment, apparently your drinking water is full of Tylenol, bare aspirin. Your food is full of pesticides and chlorine. Chemtrails are falling out the sky. So we don't need to fight cancer because our next generation, it's not gonna live beyond 20 years old. So we need to ovulate around 10. We need to have kids with boys with sperm around 10. They need to have babies, but they don't need to fight arthritis. Why wouldn't the hell would we have to have the genes on to fight arthritis? You're not gonna live till you're 80. These people are gonna die in their 20s. And all of that decision-making happens in epigenetics. And so, yeah, a lot of it's genetic, but a lot of the genetic stuff, Ivana, I find is a lie because the doctors say it is and the scientists say it is. They say the vast majority of times it's them trying to convince you your body's broken, and your body isn't broken. Our culture is broken, right? Why do they? Because if doctors can convince you your body is broken, it's not a functioning machine, you'll buy whatever drugs they want to sell you. You'll take whatever treatments that they're, and it's not the doctors, it's the AMA and how all of this works. They convince people that they're broken. You believe you're broken. You're like a hypochondriac system. So you take all the treatments and buy all the drugs and fight for the healthcare, and none of it's healthy and natural. It's actually you doing it to yourself. It's your culture that's actually making you sick. So there are genetic things that are absolutely, but most of the lectures I listen to from these doctors and scientists, they say that very little of it, very little. In fact, I was watching a lecture yesterday from Dr. And I think the way he put it, oh goodness, and this is a post I messed up. I probably messed up, nobody liked it. I probably misspelled something, put some grammar or something people couldn't understand. Immigrant, there was an immigrant study that showed, right, that it was, and this came out of China, it's called the China study. When people move from one region to the next, they would stop having diseases of the region they left, and they would get diseases of the region they moved to, even before they have babies and start breeding with the people in the next region. So it showed that it was more, disease was more related to what you're eating and your environment and probably your water than it is your genetics. Because when you took people of the same genetics and you move them somewhere else, they magically got the diseases of the people around them, right? And this is one of the things that why the China study was so just ridiculously powerful, and to kind of explain that genetics has very little to do with the conversation of disease. It has to do with what you're eating in that area. And so they would move from very impoverished areas who ate a lot of vegetables or something because they had to, and they moved to a very wealthy area, they ate a lot of meat and cheese and dairy, or the cows were grazing on poison water, or water that had irradiated water from an asteroid that landed. I don't know, you know, but it shows environment is more important than DNA. And everybody, that's why I said everybody, your body's not broken. There's a doctor who said it best, said your body's always trying to heal. Your body is always trying to heal. Your bodies aren't broken. It's your system that's broken. It's the corporations that own your government. That's what's broken, because they write in what your culture is into your parents, and your parents hand your culture down to you. And that's how they make a lot of money. Indoctrination and brainwashing doesn't just happen in local schools. It happens in the house. From parents who can't critically think. Alcoholism is genetically passed down. Well, right, and he just kind of explained that your DNA changes because your body says, and I'll do my example, I'll let y'all question if you want, that's fine. But your body says, all right, you know, we don't have no water, we don't live. For some reason, you like your gut and your flora and your fauna, because that's where your brain actually is, and your gut flora and fauna says, oh Lord, there's no water. We ain't drinking no water. Everything we drink has got like 5% alcohol. It tastes like rum. So we don't need a whole lot of genetics that actually derives the benefits of water and hydrogen, because we only get water every other day. We get alcohol every day. We get Cruzan rum, we get every damn day. So, okay, Budweiser, this is what's in the water. And your body says, all right, we got to figure out how to survive on Budweiser because there's no water around here. Ain't no lakes and streams. It's not that the animal running things is dumb. It's because there's no lakes and streams. There's Budweiser everywhere. And so your body starts flipping genes just like the sunflower does for growing in poor soil. And it starts flipping genes, and the kids actually have a predisposition for deriving benefits from Budweiser. Right, it's the brain gut. And it's just, you know, we are our own problems. Every time I post stuff, I'm like, this is so much, I don't know how to say it. And I'll just say, we're our own problems. We literally manufacture all of our own problems. Then we blame the DNA. It's not the DNA, it was the dumb parents. You know, that's why critically thinking is so important. Dr. Bear used heroin as medicine. Right. And heroin has always been medicine, Mary. Like, you can go back and find the pictures online. Heroin has always been medicine, like cocaine was medicine, which is why they're illegal. They're not legal. They're not illegal because they're like, they turn you into monsters. They might. They're illegal because they steal profit from pharmaceutical companies. Same reason cannabis is legal. Bless the food before you eat it. There's uncommon power in that too. There is ish, and I think I did a talk on that. We talked about that. We talked about like where prayer came from, why you pray over your food. It's not because Jesus said, God praise food. That's not why. It's because when you pray over your food, you change the actual makeup of the hydrogen that's actually in the food that you're eating. It gets crazy. There's a study in Japan that kind of showed happy water. You want that water to be happy, you want the hydrogen in your biscuits, and if you're gonna eat chicken, you want that to be happy too. So you need to pray over your food to eat it. And it's not because, you know how like there's a scripture that says some things only come by prayer and fasting? To me, that almost is a health benefit thing, right? Because we know that intermittent fasting vastly improves. And when you pray over your food, according to studies in Japan, it changes the hydrogen makeup. So, you know, God, in order to heal yourself, some things come from fasting, and it might not be because he's sitting on a cloud listening. It's dumb you don't realize that greater things he do. And when you pray over your food is happy and it's not trying to kill you. You spend a little time on PubMed.net. It is scary when you see how quantum physics and ancient religions and health and all of this merge together with the hippie science and energy. And bless you. It'll bless you. Yeah, somebody posted epigenetics, Mary. I try to talk about epigenetics all the time. People don't realize it's definitely nurture more than nature. Nature is an aspect, but nurture started the conversation. And after a while, it becomes nature and nurture, but nurture is still significantly more important, and it drives the nature of the next generation. Transgenerational epigenetics. Try to get rid of your life and look it up. It's a thing. It's a thing. I don't have a life, so I can look everything up. That's what all I do is watch lectures. Y'all's out dating with your honey bunnies and trying to breed yesterday. I wasn't even trying to breed yesterday. I was watching a lecture. I watched 2 or 3 of them. Then I watched Stargate. Liquid supplements might be better. I agree with you, Tammy, because from just the logical perspective, most of the minerals and nutrients we eat, they're in hydrated form, and they always have been. So putting them in concentrated form, it helps corporations sell more, it helps us sit on a shelf life longer, but I'm not sure that our bodies even know what the hell it is, or they're going to derive enough benefit from it. So if you can take supplements, if you have to take supplements, I would definitely take them hydrated. We affect everything, and everything can affect us depending on our constitution and unity. Absolutely, Kia. Absolutely. Our environments are so critical. This is why we shouldn't be destroying our environment, acting like a parasite on the planet, in our jobs, in our families, to our children, to the nation next door, to the neighbor next door, to the other continent over there. Our environment is very critical. Very critical. Same reason the CIA destabilizes countries to create an era of fear to make profit is the same reason that every commercial is on television you watch. Changes your health and changes your culture, gets you to do dumb things to make a lot of money off of you and then the kids you have, teaching them to do the same dumb things. Don't they tax soda in New York? I think they do, Mary. They have made progress in New York. So much excitement about the season's flu vaccine being 40% effective. I guess is better than 15% in the past. Ivana, I've never gotten a flu shot, and I never will. And that's just, I don't believe these people are smart as they think they are. And I knew someone who worked on the flu shots in a company, and she told me not to take them or give them to my kids. I trust her. I will never take a flu shot. There's also issues with Monocrops like the almond farms in California, they really disrupt the ecosystems. A good book to read. Okay. Is Lear Keese, The Myth of Vegetarianism. She is a former vegan. That sounds interesting. We won't go into the former vegan stuff and the myth of vegetarianism, but I'll look it up. I'm curious. I don't mind differencing opinions, but there seems to be a mounting evidence, and historically, that we aren't what we think we are. But like monocrops, if I understand what they're saying, is that one of the biggest problems of vegetarianism has always been is that we never had the diversity in fruit and vegetables and soils, and so when you eat lettuce, croutons, and tomatoes, if you're a salad vegetarian, you will die. You'll die quicker than the meat eaters, and you'll look unhealthy and you'll look sickly because you want the diverseness, right? The reason why the animals that you eat have so many nutrients in them is because they are grazing and they're taking in grass and different flora and fauna from all over, right? And all of that, the minerals that are coming up from the grounds being taken in by those plants are going into the animal. I just don't want to take it from the animal. I just take it from the fruits and vegetables that actually take it directly from the soil. And I'm healthier that way. So it works for me, but I'm okay with whatever works for whatever works for y'all, I'm good with. Because it's not my body and I'm a sovereign. I only control what goes into me, and I try to direct what goes into my children. That's all I can try to control. Need to take back pepper and turmeric. All right, we're down into the conversation. Let me get down to the end so we can start to get out of here. Way up in the comments. Trader Joe's has turmeric ginger tea. It does have black pepper in it too. We know turmeric is critical. Turmeric must be a prolific plant genie. Turmeric all over. Turmeric is like, anytime they call it a superfood, like I said, it's not a superfood, it just means it's prolific. We eat it a lot, and our genetics have changed in the microbiology and in us to eat it a lot more. So it's not a superfood, it's just something we've always eaten, and which means we should eat more of it because a lot of our biology is based in compounds from it. Sugar-free pie, Wiley have some kind of artificial sweetener in it. No, well, you know what you do, Ivana? You look at the ingredients. Like, I'm an ingredient shopper. Everything I buy, I look at the ingredients of. In fact, my kids do too. Look at the ingredients. All you want to see is when you look at your apple pie, you want to see apple, flour, and whatever goes in the crust. And like, you want to see less than 5 ingredients. If you start to see things like riboflavin, things that you can't pronounce, like this is what I tell my kids: if you don't know what it is, it's a chemical, don't eat it, right? So apple pie has like 4 ingredients. I haven't made an apple pie in a while. It's not a lot. It's the crust and some apples, right? You don't really need anything else in it if the apples are picked right, because it's called apple pie. It's not called apple sugar pie. It's not called apple aspartame pie. It's called apple pie. So apple pie is just made of a crust and apples, and that's it. You might do some little caramel or some cinnamon or something, but short of that, it's just apple pie. Apple pie is the easiest thing on the planet to make, but you got to be careful, and I know what you're saying. You got to read the ingredients. If you don't read the ingredients, they're going to sneak sugar in there because they know you're going to fall in love with it. Get down in comments. Giving vibrations to your food. Absolutely, Christine. There's so much about that we don't understand. You want to give good vibrations into your food, and the religion said that. Stop hating religion, folks. There's a lot of wisdom in those scriptures that have been handed down from all the ancestors on all the continents. DNA is what Dr. Lipton calls medical dogma. I like Dr. Lipton. I used to watch some of his lectures. Respect food, for it respects you. Yeah, Lori, and respect other countries around you, and they'll respect you too. Invade them and topple them and steal their resources and kill their people and act like a parasite, they will come back to kill you. Besides the fact, sometimes you might need the country next door. Your children might need the countries next door, the continent next door. They don't need a continent full of people that hate you and want to kill them. That's probably a bad idea. Especially when all the big corporations take their military weapons and they go to another country. That's gonna suck. Wine into water, his first miracle. Yeah, well, let me see. Wine, did he turn, no, wine into water? I thought he turned the water into wine. His first miracle. Maybe, did I miss a miracle, Daniel? I thought he took the water and made it wine. I forgot. Let me see. Wine into whiskey, that's mine. You know, listen, I don't tell you, yeah, people can drink. The thing is about your body, the human body can take a lot of punishment. It can, it's a phenomenal machine. Our problem isn't that we drink wine and water and Twinkies and ho-hos and donuts and soda. It's not that we drink those, it's that we do it on a regular basis. We attach it to our culture instead of it being something that we enjoy on occasion. Candy at Halloween. You know, we took it and we made it just regular things. And that's the problems. We made those things regular. We need to go back to damaging our body rare, and then magically we become healthy. Epigenetics is why vaccines are not a one-size-fits-all solution. That's very true, Mary. Epigenetics are the reasons why I will never take a vaccine. Epigenetics are the reason why I don't take any medicine. Epigenetics are the reasons I avoid all chemicals and pesticides. Epigenetics are the reason that I try to buy everything organic or grow as much as I can, because I don't want my DNA changing to try to deal with the dumb things I decide to eat because corporations think they're more profitable to sell, and my government's okay with that. Lots of laughter. Critical thinking is cut off when alcohol is consumed regularly. In circles we go. The damage to the connections to the prefrontal and is that it trains your brain to use the amygdala more, which is why I have a whole list of Jeannie videos that I have not watched. I have a whole list of Jeannie sent me a whole lecture. She sent me her lecture. I was like, oh Lord, there's no way I can watch them. Which is a whole lot of words, but I get the big ones. I get a few of the big ones, right? You know, alcohol damages those things, and I think that's kind of why our culture is trying to get people to drink more and more the bad things and eat more and more of the things that kind of take that critical thought. There is an info war. I'm right about that. There is definitely an info war. It's a war on your intellect, and a wage based in culture in a lot of other ways. Let me see. Butter's in the crust, baby. But just made crust yesterday, and the apple pie is coming today. All right, well, you know what? Butter's in the crust, and you can use a lot of other things. Like when I used to make flour, I used to make bread. I'm trying to remember. Let's go ways back. I had my little bread machine. I go through these moments. It's like, I'm making bread. We're not gonna eat bread from the grocery store, never, no more. My kid's like, yeah, Dad said we ain't never gonna eat bread from the grocery store, never again. That's just a lie. It's a lie. But I go through my moments, and it was my moments. I got my bread maker. I was making bread, and we were using a lot of things. I mean, there are a lot of replacements for butter. But when it comes to butter and cooking and stability at the carbon level, you want to make sure that the only things you cook with is animal fat, which is butter, or, and the vegans aren't gonna like that, but it's stable, and they're right about this. It is stable. You want to cook with animal fat, or you want to cook with coconut oil. And I think there's one other oil you can cook with. I use coconut oil. So you don't, but the whole point is stability. You don't ever want to cook with vegetable oil, ever. Number one, because it's mostly GMO. It's just canola, soy, and corn, right? Which is all GMO. But that's one reason. The other reason, it's not stable at high temperature. So you don't ever want to cook with anything other than an animal product or coconut oil. Those are the two things that are stable at high heat. Otherwise, you get free radicals, bad things happen. As I'm not going further in detail in that. I am just curious, Gerard, about your opinion on the fact that, watch it, you asked me for opinions, y'all. Be careful. I got to get out of here, too. Your opinion on the fact that a lot of Africans are meat eaters. And as we know, their nutrition goes way back. I am just trying to rectify this in my mind. But to be clear, their animals are usually free range, not farm, fed grains. And the goats and chickens sometimes comes in the house with the humans overnight. I love that, actually, Deborah. I love that. I think about that the same way I think about farmers, right? In farming. When you raise an animal in love, that animal lived a good life. It's not abused. It has positive energy. If you're going to eat anything, like this is my stance. If you're going to eat meat, if I ever were a meat hunter, I would be eating the things that I either raise myself, my friends raise, who have love in the family, don't abuse the animals, and they eat natural foods, or there'll be something that I would hunt. So my take on that, if you're going to eat meat, you probably should eat the healthiest meat, the happiest meat you can find. And my other take is that if you're going to, in terms of the ancient cultures, We ate a lot of things, Deborah, because we were forced to, right? You know we came from marsupials that were herbivores, but like milk and anything else, you know, if you're traveling, you're going to a new land, you can only carry so much vegetable with you. You can only carry so much dried stuff with you. So you take your food with you, and it had 4 legs and it would walk, right? A lot of the animals we eat, we carried along with us after we were farmers, and we were still hunter-gatherers at the time, or we ate things that were there, and that tend to be deer, like Eskimo. They eat a lot of seal. They eat a lot of things that were there, right? Because it's what your body can live to survive on. So there are ancient cultures that ate a lot of meat, but go back. In fact, there are ones that ate just blood and I think milk. Is that the Watusis, I think? And they grow to be 7 feet tall. You know, the human body can evolve to derive benefits from a lot of different things, but it doesn't mean that it's supposed to. I'm a weird person. I believe that in the Garden of Eden, I think that whatever we started eating is what we're supposed to eat. The original design to me for man and woman was to eat raw, natural food, things that grew out of the planet. But as we struggled and we starved, we had to drink milk from the cow because we didn't have any water. And then we had to eat the cow because we didn't have any fruits and vegetables to eat, and our bodies have evolved to get benefits from it. So that's kind of based on the studies I've seen, lectures I've listened to, is that, you know, we evolved to survive on almost anything like cardboard. The question you can survive on Twinkies. But do you want to eat Twinkies every day on a regular? That's why I don't attack meat at all. People do what they want to do. I just say that you want to look at the things that your body doesn't like, that your body is always trying to talk to you. Less of the things your body doesn't like. Like I'll get certain almond milks. I'm drinking almond milk. If it's not organic, sometimes it says organic, but I get like my throat. Like when I eat pesticides now, my throat will start to inflame. Like that's the inflammation response in my white blood cells attacking what I just ate. I can go out to a restaurant, and I kind of sort of know the restaurants that put a lot of pesticide, that have a lot of pesticides in their foods from whatever ingredients they use. Listen to your body. And I'm a listen to my body type of person. I think my body knows a lot of things I don't. So eating meat causes an inflammatory response. Eat less meat. Eating from this restaurant makes my stomach upset because it uses a certain oil. I'm not going to eat there, or I'm not going to eat that brand. Eating an apple pie that makes my throat get inflamed, I'm not going to eat that brand of apple pie again, right? So I am a cut meat back because all the data and science says that we didn't eat Twinkies all the time. We didn't eat meat all the time. We definitely, for millions of years prior, were more herbivore-ish than carnivore-ish, and I'll leave it at that. All right, let me get down to the bottom line. I gotta get out of here. I want to get into meat versus vegetarian topic. Oh Lord, did I see what that became yesterday? Yeah, I'll read all the comments, and I was like, I was going through my comments yesterday, like, nope, not getting in that discussion. Nope, not getting that. Nope, not. I started seeing fights and stuff. Nope. I'd say everybody's trying to get along. Everybody just come with this. You know, the thing is, the funny thing about passionate people is when you really believe in something, you really want to change the world, you want to fix things, you want to make things better for the next generation, you're going to be a passionate person. And passionate people conflict because they give a damn. People who don't give a damn, they don't conflict. And so when I see people arguing on the internet, I realize that they're passionate people who actually give a damn. People who don't give a damn, you won't even find them. So it's important to give a damn, but try as best as you can to not offend. You know, there are divorces, people, there are breakup and divorces that occur just because of text messages, right? There's something bad about text. No emotion comes out of it. It's just bland. And it's easy to misconstrue things when you're looking at somebody and talking to them versus online. So I try to take everything with a grain of salt. So, but yeah, I look at some of the, I can't look at it. All right, y'all just try to get along. You know, try to work with people, try to understand that, you know, passionate people are gonna, their swords, their horns are gonna do what they do. Iron sharpens iron, especially when we all are given cultures of conflict. We're not giving cultures to work together. We're giving cultures of conflict. So I just ask everybody to kind of think about that. But hey, I want to do the meat versus vegetarian topic. Because there's no meat versus vegetarian topic. There is no topic, right? You're a sovereign. You eat what you want to eat. Nobody has any say in that. That's my stance. You know, very simple. You know, eat what you eat, share, take in data, have experiences, and share with other people, and let them make their own choices. Thank you, Gerard, for your take on some ancient cultures. Eat meat. that makes sense. I'm open to learning more and changing my mind. But thank you, Deborah. I appreciate that. I'm like, that's huge. That's huge. Somebody who's just like willing to like listen. That's huge. Deborah, you're like in the top 2% of the planet. Because most people, they just got their cultures like, nope, I ain't listening. I ain't changing nothing. I'm dumb and ignorant. I'm gonna keep it because it make me feel good and it's convenient. But you don't have to change. And people don't have to change their mind. Just, learn and share. That's what we're supposed to be, a hive mind. I think some people, I'd probably guarantee some people, they switch over to a vegetarian diet, they probably die. Our DNA's been changing based on what we've been eating. I just think we should be moving away from being predatory and killing things or killing multicellular organisms or things that we think are sentient. I think we should be heading in that direction. Ivana, you always cook with olive oil. Olive oil didn't make the list, Ivana. Olive oil is not stable at high temperature. Olive oil, it's best used on like salads and vegetables. Like olive oil is delicious and it's healthy, but when you cook it, it burns and it breaks it down at like the carbon level, I think it is. I haven't looked at it in a long time, but it didn't make the list of stable oils at high temperature to cook with. Chickens are curious and like company. Chickens are curious and like company, I found. Yeah, chickens are curious, and we used to live with them. We used to live with our animals. I think there's something positive about that. I don't think it's weird that India travels on trains in parts of India, and they've got the animals, they're taking their livestock and their animals with them. They love their animals. Yeah, you can turn around and eat them. But to me, I think it's more important that you eat things that you care about. To me, it's about the caring. It's about giving a damn. I just don't like meat from grocery stores. I'm not a big factory farm person. Because you don't know. For the most part, the farmers growing that for money. Big farmers, not little farmers. They're big farms. The factory, they're not loving the animals. Yes, they do ish and sit on your laptop and get stroked. Yes, chickens do. Chickens act just like cats and dogs. So do horses and so do cows. But people like to pick and choose what is an atrocity, an outrage if you eat it. You can't eat dog, but you can eat cows. Pigs too. Pigs run in the yard just like dogs. When my son was little, he used to sit on my back porch with his arm around a chicken. I have a photo, and those are those beautiful pictures. Ish. I look at those and I'm just like, yeah, we gotta try to go the other way. I just go the other way with my life and share. Let me see. Dr. Sebi, yes, I love Dr. Sebi, but it's not SCB. I don't know what CB is, Mary. Oh, you know who Dr. Sebi is. It's SEBI, the only doctor who actually cured AIDS, sickle cell anemia, diabetes, and he did it all with diet, took out that ad in New York. That was his mistake. I think they was going to kill him the day after he did that. He took out his ad, well, not the day after. They was going to get him. He made the list that day. Took out that ad, said, I can cure everybody. And they said, oh, we got him. We're going to put him in prison. Because the U.S. government, the New York government, dumb as every other government. There's no way you can cure things but diet and health. And they took him in there. They thought they was going to put him in prison. They got all the doctors in there with them. They thought they were going to put him in prison. They said, if you could show us that you cured all 8 of those diseases, then sure, we'll let you off. And they just knew they got him. Sure enough, 70 of his patients went to New York to show them HIV positive before I ate what he said to eat. HIV negative after I ate what he said to eat and drank the water he told me to drink. And right after that, day 2, Tawana Brawley. That's why I don't believe that the news is always orchestrated to get people to look the other way. And so a lot of people who've been looking like, wow, he wasn't a doctor. I mean, he was a naturalistic, holistic doctor, but they looked at him and they would have changed their lifestyles. They probably would have thought about what they ate. But Tawana Brawley happened the next day. Q racism, Q division. Everybody started fighting and arguing, so nobody even heard of Dr. Sebi. But he died a few years ago. They killed him. They put him in prison and they killed him. Because you can't just cure AIDS and cancer. You can't cure diabetes and live. You're tapping into too many industries the politicians make big money off of. Yes, the Maasai, that's who it is. The Maasai, thank you, Deborah. The Maasai, they drink blood. Restaurants that are not chains. Better chances, ask their source for the food. Yeah, in the small restaurants, Lori, farm to table. You go to a restaurant, find out where they get their food, make sure it's local and fresh, buy local, buy. We shouldn't be going to big chains anyway. We should all be buying local. Don't buy anything that buys meat from China. Unless you live in China, then that's what you should do. local China, regional China. Gerard is so good at avoiding fights. I don't know how he does it seriously. I don't like to fight. I don't like to. Kimberly, you know what? My fight's not for you. My fight's not for my family. Like we were talking about domestic violence not too long ago. I've never hit a woman in my life. I've never pushed a woman. I've never abused a woman. And it's not because I'm better than the men who do. I was raised and given a culture that's not what we do. I was raised and given a culture that my strength is not for my family. My strength ain't to hurt my wife or girlfriend. Not that I ain't got none of them. But that my strength is not against my family. My intellect is not to hurt people I love. And I got 7 billion family all over this planet. My strength and the strength of a man is to protect his family. The intellect and strength of a woman is to protect her family. Right? It's not to use and abuse against other people. So as much as I can, I don't try to hurt people with what I know. I don't try to hurt anybody with my strength. I believe in force. Let's not get it, don't ever get it twisted. I don't believe in violence. I don't believe in the violation of taking what I know to hurt people. I don't believe in taking my military to invade people. I don't believe in taking what I know to cause problems. I believe in taking what I know to solve problems. I believe in if you're hurting somebody, yeah, that's why I stay fit. Because I'm not a watcher. I'm a watcher when people are doing dumb things. When you're hurting people, I'm not supposed to stand on the side. And that rule of force and violence is applied to intellect as well. I'm not here to fight with people. I have no interest in fighting with people. I don't care what you are. I don't care what you believe. Hate me, hate my race, hate my color, hate my religion. I'm fine with it. I just don't. You know what? I guess the way, if I had to think about it, I'm okay with you being you. You don't have to be me. You don't have to think like me. You don't have to even like me. I'm okay with you being you. I think you are who you're supposed to be. Like I said, I think everybody is perfect but me. Y'all are all perfect. I'm the one, because for my focus, I only need to focus on me. I only need to focus on me and my kids. And it makes it easier for me not to want to fight with people because you don't have to believe me. I don't really care if you believe me. I still believe in spiritual things in the universe. I believe in the crazy things given to me by the religions that I like, is that we're not really in control of as much as we think we are. And I have faith. My faith is why I don't need to fight abortion. I don't need to fight. There's nothing I need to fight. The only thing I need to fight is my own hubris and trying to force other people to do what I say. It's more sustainable if people get there themselves. It's more sustainable is if you give them the information, and when they're ready to take it in, they take it in and they decide, you know what, this is who I want to become. It's not sustainable when you force it. That's why I don't believe in laws. I don't believe in laws because when you force people to do things, they don't learn. Right? The kid, if he doesn't touch the stove and burn himself, that lesson's not solid. It's not sustainable. But when you actually accept the truth that we are destroying the ecosystems all over this planet and we're killing each other and it's not sustainable. And when you're ready to accept that truth, then you stop talking about 2020. You stop cheering this politician over that politician, and you realize the system is the problem. When you're ready to accept that, and you'll believe it. But if you believe it because some bald guy on the internet keeps telling you it, then it's not sustainable. You really don't believe it anyway. You're just kind of going along with a tribe or something. That's why I say no leaders. There can't be any leaders. You have to make up your mind for yourself, and people are more apt to listen to you when you're not fighting with them. You're not trying to force them. Usually when you try to use violence against someone, intellectual or physical, they're going to fight back, which means nothing's actually going to get solved. So I'm not a fighter. I don't fight. Yeah, Lori, I try to teach what I live, but I also try to teach the things I don't live too. I try to teach what looks right, and I try to live right. And I try to live right best I can. Anybody got any last word for us to roll out on? Going into the weekend. Eat local, only buy from the local farmer. Shop at the farms, at the farmers market, from the organic farmers. Absolutely, Jamie. And also ask. I go to a farmer's market and I'll ask, is this organic? The more you ask, the more the farmers get it. It tends to be that farmers that are local and small farmers, they'll grow more organic because they don't have pesticide schedules. But when you ask, you make it a thing. People are listening. Oh, she's eating organic. What the hell's going on? The farmer's like, oh, they're looking for organic. and he'll use less and less pesticides, but he's already using less because he doesn't have a pesticide schedule, and he's trying to grow as naturally as possible because it's cheaper. But also I look at labels too. I'm in the grocery store, I'm like looking at a label. I like label hunters, you know, like I'm a label hunter, and people are like, what the hell is he doing? Get out the way, I need to get to the shelf. Like, no, I'm reading the ingredients. You're trying to kill all us? You can try to kill yourself. And I make my kids little crazy label readers. I don't want to hurt people either, but some people trigger me and I argue. Yeah, that's how it goes. And then we all get triggered. I get triggered too. Y'all probably don't see when I'm triggered. I get triggered. Everybody gets triggered. Let me see. All right, y'all see all this love, hippie love, all over the place. Love, love, love. Anybody got any last words for us to go out on? Weekend, final words of the weekend. Half is talking and half is listening. Absolutely, Gina, and that's why we got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Got 2 ears, 1 mouth. 2 ears, 1 mouth. Supposed to do this twice as much as you do this. In fact, probably supposed to do this 1,000 times more than you do this. Which is why I go back and I read all of these comments. I try to when I have time. I read most of them. Like MJ, not a fighter, a lover. Absolutely, MJ. MJ was a fighter and a lover, Lori. We're winding up. Thanks for sharing the RIC stuff. Kia, thanks for the talk. Gerard, always love it. Everybody have a good day. And hit the button on your way out. Thank you. I think we're going to end on Ish today. Hit the button on your way out. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Got to go to YouTube, hit subscribe, and on Facebook, share out so you can start a crazy conversation with your friends. Y'all have a great weekend. This is Gerard. I'm out. Love y'all to death. Bye-bye. Don't be a parasite. Don't be a parasite. We don't have any kids that can live in parasitic aftermath.